And welcome to Eastern Kentucky University's Fall 2017 Commencement Exercises. We here at Eastern Kentucky University care about your safety. Please note the location of the emergency exits. In the event of an emergency, calmly walk to the nearest exit and move away from the building to allow emergency personnel access. At this time, we would like to remind you to please silence your cell phones. Thank you. Tonight, we honor degree candidates in the College of Justice and Safety, which is under the leadership of Dr. Victor Kapler, and the College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences, under the leadership of Dr. Sarah Ziegler. In this ceremony, we celebrate the degree candidates from the School of Justice Studies, the School of Safety, Security, and Emergency Management, as well as the departments of Anthropology, Sociology, and Social Work, Art and Design, Communication, English and Theater, Government and Economics, History, Languages, Cultures, and Humanities, Music, Philosophy and Religion, and Psychology. And now, please rise for the presentation of the national colors and join the university singers under the direction of Dr. Richard Waters in the singing of our national anthem, and remain standing as they perform My Old Kentucky Home.
See by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
Ladies and gentlemen, the 13th President of Eastern Kentucky University, Dr. Michael T. Benson.
Good morning. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Parents, families, friends, members of the Board of Regents, distinguished guests, faculty, and staff, excuse me. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate with our fall graduates this milestone in their lives. Today we formally conferred 28 associate degrees, 492 bachelor's degrees, 118 master's degrees for a total of 638 degrees. Today's graduates include many who have achieved academic distinction. We're proud of all those who are graduating with honors, and I would like to recognize three groups in particular. If you would, please hold your applause until all three groups have been recognized. Would all those who are graduating from our nationally prominent honors program as honor scholars please stand and remain standing. Next, would all those who are graduating summa cum laude with a grade point average of 3.9 or higher please stand and remain standing. Now, would all those graduates who are members of EKU's highest multidisciplinary honor society, Phi Kappa Phi, also stand. Please join me in honoring these three groups of outstanding student scholars. Congratulations are due, thank you, please be seated. Congratulations are due as well to all other students who are graduating with honors today as well. Throughout her 143-year history, Eastern Kentucky University has been known as the School of Opportunity, and we will always be proud of this distinction. I am particularly pleased to acknowledge the many first-generation college graduates who are earning their degree this morning. A first-generation graduate means that neither their parents nor anyone else in an earlier generation was a college graduate. Will all the candidates for degrees who are the first generation in their families to earn a college degree please stand? There you go, Diamond. Thank you. Please be seated. Commencement is also the time we recognize the many others who have contributed to the success of candidates with resources, encouragement, occasional cajoling, love, and understanding. Now I ask the following to stand as you are presented and remain standing so that we may welcome and honor you as a group. Again, please hold your applause until all have been recognized. Will parents of the candidates for graduation please stand? Next, will spouses of the candidates please stand? Next, will grandparents of the candidates please stand? Will children and other family members of the candidates please stand? Now, will all the faculty who have instructed and served these candidates please stand and be recognized? Degree candidates, please join me in showing your appreciation for these many important people in your lives with a generous round of applause. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to recognize some special individuals here on the platform this morning. Members of the Board of Regents who have joined us today. Will each regent please stand when presented and remain standing? First, Craig Turner, Chair of the Board from Lexington. Juan Castro from Lexington. Richard Day, Faculty Regent from Lexington. Brian Mackin, Staff Regent from Richmond, and Laura Jackson, Student Regent from Barberville. Please join me in greeting these members of the Board of Regents and express to them our appreciation for their dedicated service. Each semester, a member of the graduating class from each college is selected for the honor of presenting the student commencement address. Deans Vic Kapler and Sarah Ziegler will present the individuals who have been selected to represent their college's graduating class from each of these colleges. Dean Kapler.
This morning, the honor of being the College of Justice and Safety commencement speaker belongs to Diamond Richards of Lexington, Kentucky. Dr. Christy Blevins, a faculty member in our criminal justice program, has taught, mentored, and inspired Diamond along her journey. Dr. Blevins will now introduce her as the college's commencement speaker.
Good morning. As Dr. Benson mentioned, each semester a member of the graduating class is selected for the honor of presenting a student commencement address. This morning, that honor belongs to Diamond Richards of Lexington, Kentucky. She's graduating with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice with a double minor in African American studies and police studies. Throughout Diamond's journey at EKU, she has been involved in organizations such as the Minority Collegiate Connections, the Black Student Union, Eastern Open Mic, and the Freshman Academy for Diverse Students. She also is a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. On campus, she has served as a lead guru in the Student Success Center, the liaison officer of Multicultural Student Affairs, a summer bridge lab assistant, and an orientation leader. Sharing in Diamond's special day today are her parents, Marcy Bowden and Robbie Richards, as well as her siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and other family and friends. I know they are proud of Diamond, as are we. It is my pleasure now to introduce the student speaker for this morning's convocation, Diamond Richards.
Okay, so I was told to imagine you all as like little nuggets, but you all look like people, like real people. So, first of all, I would like to thank Patty Matthews and Aaron Rader because I begged them for months to be able to do this, so thank you for giving in. Eastern Kentucky University, a place I knew absolutely nothing about, yet still chose to call home 4 years ago. But now the time has come. Eastern has done its best to give us all the tools that it can offer to help us be successful in life. These past few years of our lives haven't been easy. Even when we thought it was easy, it wasn't easy. We've laughed, cried, and laughed some more. Procrastination and caffeine always seemed to be the perfect match. And somehow, DSP was always fulfilling, no matter how late it was, because you were too busy studying all day to eat. It's finally our turn. The day that we've all been having mixed feelings about. More nervous now than ever because you're about to be thrown into the lion's den head first. Excited all at the same time because we've accomplished such a large milestone in our lives. I don't know about the rest of you all, but I most certainly have grown since my freshman year. Like many of you, I'm a first-generation college student. I didn't have much insight on college before my arrival. I didn't know what to expect, what not to expect, or what to always be disappointed in, like how much financial aid I'd be receiving. After my first semester, I thought, what in the world am I getting myself into? It was hard to balance my social life and academics, and I ended up on academic probation. However, the following semester granted me another opportunity to get my life together. I had to come up with a game plan and stick to it. I had to hold myself accountable, which is easier said than done. I knew that after barely making it through the first semester, I had to go on and finish the following semester, and the semester after that, and the semester after that. I had to keep going. A quote that I found states, "The strongest factor for success is self-esteem, believing you can do it, believing you deserve it, and believing you will get it." Self-motivation is the best motivation. When I felt like giving up or lost faith in myself, two things never failed to uplift me. The first was a Bible verse. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future." I had to convince myself that something great would come out of these 4 long years that I was going to spend at Eastern. Great things indeed are what I've gained. The friends I've made here, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. It's like God placed them here just for me. They've become my family and my support system. They are my biggest motivation and the ones who convinced me to go out after burying myself in schoolwork for weeks. I'm forever thankful for my friends because if anything, we support and encourage each other. Constructive criticism is given whether it is asked for or not, and that kind of sentiment is so genuine and true. Most importantly, I've gained an exceptional collegiate education. If I must say so myself, this department is pretty awesome. I quickly learned which professors I wanted to take more than once, and I was sure that if I begged them to teach all the classes that I needed, they would. We have a very well-established, experienced, and distinguished array of faculty and staff members, all caring and kind and wanting to see the best in each of us. The networking opportunities I have gained here go beyond the department. Although Stratton was where I quickly got adjusted, main campus became pretty comfortable too. The Office of Multicultural Student Affairs and the Student Success Center was where I spent most of my time and where I met the most people, probably where I've made the most memories and shed the most tears. The office and center were always there, and I appreciated that. Secondly, I made a promise to someone, and not just any someone, but someone very special to me. In August of 2015, my grandmother passed away from a heart attack. At her deathbed, I held her hand and I promised her that I'd finish college, no matter how hard it got. No matter how hard it got, no matter how frustrated things made me, no matter how much I tried to convince myself that I'd drop out, which I did like once a week all year, I promised her that I would graduate, that I would finish. From the moment those words left my mouth, I knew that I made a promise that I absolutely could not break. She had always talked about how she wanted to win the lottery, and I remember asking her if she'd pay off my student loans after she cashed her check. If there was any being that I wanted to make sure that I completed this degree for, it most definitely is for my Grammy. On the top of my graduation cap is a small hard vessel that contains some of my Grammy's ashes. I have glued it to my cap as a representation of a promise that I made to her. As bad as I wish that she were here in the flesh, I'm thankful for her spiritual presence. Grammy, I did it. At the end of the day, we are the ones getting this degree. It is our name that is going to be placed on this degree. We are the ones that had to set our alarms and make it to class by 8 a.m. We are the ones that had to study for our exams and force ourselves to stay awake in class to take notes. We are the ones that had to email our professors, and our student loans are taken out in our name. We worked hard and prayed harder. So to my collegiate peers, I want to say congratulations and job well done. We're finally finished and don't have to consider ourselves undergrads anymore. No more waking up for classes that you knew better than to register for, and no more staying up in the library for hours trying to finish an assignment, or freaking out over an exam that you didn't study for but expected to do well on. Know that as we continue on with all of our adulting endeavors, whenever we feel like we're failing at life or like we've accomplished nothing, don't. We've kicked professional schooling's ass every day for 4 or so years. We took a few L's, but we got back up, and if we didn't, we wouldn't be here today. As we go forward with our careers, whatever they may be, I advise all of us to do this. Set some goals, stay quiet about them, smash the hell out of them, and clap for your damn self. Above all, we had to do this for ourselves, not for our moms or our dads or our siblings, even though they want more than anything to see us graduate. Regardless who did or did not, we had to believe in ourselves. If we did not want this for ourselves, we wouldn't be here. Even if someone wants to deny that, deny all the hard work that we've dedicated to ourselves over the years, tell them to check that degree for clarification. Class of 2017, let's change the world. Eastern prepared us to do so. Make no little plans.
Thank you, Diamond. Congratulations to you and your family on your honors and your graduation. The College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences is represented this year by Casey Waddell. Casey is a graduate from the Department of Psychology and will be introduced by Dr. Robert Brubaker, chair of the department. Dr. Brubaker.
This year, the faculty of the College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences has selected Casey Waddell to have the honor of being our commencement speaker. Casey's from Paris, Kentucky. She's graduating with a major in psychology with a concentration in autism and developmental disabilities and a minor in American Sign Language. Casey's been actively involved in residence hall life, having served as residence hall advisor, president of the Residence Hall Association, and treasurer for hall government. She's worked as a teaching assistant in the psychology department and has participated in research projects that she presented at 4 national conferences. Casey's academic excellence led to her induction in Psych-Hi, the National Honor Society in Psychology. After graduation, Casey plans to pursue a master's degree in applied behavior analysis and work with children with developmental disabilities. Casey's joined at today's ceremony by her parents, Kimberly and Colonel Mendel Waddell, her brother, Michael Waddell, her fiance, Brian Morrow, her aunt, Tammy Galloway, her grandparents, Linda and Danny Clarkson, and her great-grandmother, Bonnie Bartley. It's my great pleasure and honor to introduce our speaker, Casey Waddell.
Before I get started, I want to take a moment to extend my thanks to my mom, Kim, my dad, David, my brother, Michael, and my fiance, Brian. This road hasn't been easy, yet you all never stopped believing in me and never stopped telling me that I could do it. I would have never made it to this point without you. And because you all aren't the only family out there, I want to thank all the behind-the-scenes people that have helped all of us achieve our dreams. Thank you for your support and your encouragement during our time here. And please don't stop. We still have to look for jobs. Now, graduates, let me begin my speech by first setting a scene for you. I'm sitting on the sidewalk, listening to the marching band, amazed by the color guard, filled with pride from the ROTC, and wonderstruck by the sheer mass of this institution. Some face paint, and one long walk later, we are now in the stadium, cheering on the Colonels for a victory over the Hilltoppers, a victory they most definitely achieved. The crowd is going nuts, and I am instantly filled with a dream, my dream. My story starts back when I was a kid. My parents brought me to a homecoming game where EKU was playing Western. Little did I know at the time that I would, later in life, experience trauma, depression, and paralyzing anxiety. My life hasn't always been easy. With 4 deployments, a knee surgery, a few deaths, and one awful senior year in high school, I came to Eastern broken, vulnerable, and malleable. In other words, when I came here, life just stunk. Walking into Eastern, like most of you, I walked into the university nervous and excited for what the future held. However, I was also walking into Eastern lost. During the duration of my time here at EKU, I have been tested and tried beyond belief. I had some crazy roommates, survived Snowpocalypse 1 and 2, and I was an RA. Need I say more? But despite all the crazy things that I experienced while attending EKU, my experiences here changed me. It changed me into someone who was strong, who had a story, had a purpose. I became a conqueror of my own demons, and I finally found a place that I belong. That E now stands for more than just Eastern to me. It stands for empowerment, it stands for purpose, and it stands for home. This semester was a crazy one. My classes were an emotional roller coaster, to say the least. But it was also a time to be reflective about my journey here at EKU. I kept thinking about those three things: empowerment, purpose, and home. I began to realize just how much Eastern has done for me. For example, growing up in a military family, we moved around a lot. I never had a childhood home or childhood friends, and I missed out on a lot of family milestones with my cousins and grandparents. I never really fit in anywhere, nor did I have a place that I really called home. This all changed when I came to Eastern. Sorry, y'all. Never in my life did I ever expect to have that feeling of being home. But Eastern proved me wrong. I can now honestly say I'm home, which is special for a military kid. The next things that stood out to me this semester were those senses of purpose and empowerment. While here at EKU, I learned that I have a purpose on this planet, that each and every one of us has a purpose here. Whether it's to help someone with depression see that they're worth it, or to help a community feel safe, we are here today to fulfill our purpose. We are not just people going through the motions of life. No, we are people accomplishing a mission and fulfilling an obligation to bettering society. I learned that we are the creators of our own story. We either let people take the reins or we define how our own story goes. We can either use our purpose or let others define how we use it, or if we use it at all. And let me just say, directing your own biography instead of letting someone else direct it is a lot better, and you end up a lot happier in the end. After all, the only person who can truly demonstrate your full capacity as a human is you. Now, I know I've talked a lot about myself so far, but by saying these things, I hope to recognize your story and your growth and experiences, because some of you all are mothers and fathers trying to better your life for your kids. I want to recognize you because going to school and working and raising a family is a nightmare and something I will never understand. Some of you, like me, are waiting till you can finally be done with school so you can get married and start a family. I want to recognize you for continuing on, even though it would have been easy to just quit. And finally, for those that are still searching for that dream, for the opportunity to arise where you can fully be happy with your career and can be doing something you were put on this earth to do. For you, I commend you. You haven't settled on anything less than what you want, and that takes guts. All of us have grown here on our journey at Eastern. Whether you're that parent or someone who has it all figured out, or that dreamer, we are all leaving Eastern today with the tools to build the future that we want. We are leaving here with the pride of completing a goal. We are leaving here tired and exhausted and relieved that finals are at last over. But we are leaving here with a strong sense of self and a diploma that says that you've done something with your life. And all of us are leaving here with a place you can now call home. But the question remains, what are you going to do with these tools? Are we going to let life pass us by and go through the motions, or are we going to use our purpose and empowerment to create our own biographies? I challenge you to walk away today asking yourself, what can I do to make my mark? No, what will I do to make my mark? Will you choose to accept the status quo, or will you choose to redefine it? Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. We congratulate you and salute your parents on your achievements.
President Michael T. Benson and Interim Provost Deborah Whitehouse will now proceed with the formal conferring of degrees on our candidates.
President Benson, Dean Jerry Pagashnik will present candidates for graduate degrees.
Will the candidates for master's degrees please stand and remain standing? President Benson, these candidates have been approved by the faculty, and I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
President Benson, Dean Victor Kapler will present candidates for undergraduate degrees from the College of Justice and Safety.
Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Justice and Safety please stand and remain standing? Will the candidates for associate degrees in the College of Justice and Safety please stand and remain standing? President Benson, these candidates have been approved by the faculty, and I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
President Benson, Dean Sarah Ziegler will present candidates for undergraduate degrees from the College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences.
Will the candidates for baccalaureate degrees please stand and remain standing? President Benson, these candidates have been approved by the faculty, and I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
President Benson, with the recommendation of the faculty and the deans, I present these candidates to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Candidates, the long anticipated hour has come. You are here with family and loved ones looking on. The faculty and officers of the university are gathered in witness and testimony to your conduct and purpose. Therefore, by virtue of the authority granted me by the Board of Regents of Eastern Kentucky University, and with the faculty's recommendation, it is now my pleasure to confer upon each of you the appropriate degree, and do hereby vest each of you with the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. Once verified by final grades, your diploma will be confirmed and acknowledged by the Great Seal of Eastern Kentucky University. Congratulations, and please be seated. At this time, will the college staff please escort the degree candidates to the stage? Mr. John Strada of the Department of Communication will now read the names of the graduates. Out of respect to the graduates, especially those whose names are about to be called next, I would kindly ask that you hold your applause until all the graduates have been recognized. In this way, each graduate can receive the recognition that he or she so richly deserves. Thank you very much.
College of Justice and Safety, School of Justice Studies, Master of Science, Bachelor of Science, Associate of Arts. Benny Parsons, Master of Science, Justice Policy and Leadership. Cesar Esmeralda Mendez, Master of Science, Criminology, Criminal Justice. Rebecca Edwards, Master of Science, Criminology, Criminal Justice. Jeremy Page, Master of Science, Justice Policy and Leadership. Larry Ellison, Master of Science, Justice Policy and Leadership. Chris Spurlock, Master of Science, Criminal Justice. Andrew Doherty, Master of Science, Criminal Justice. DeRayvon Thomas Randall, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Patrick Barone, Bachelor of Science, Police Studies. William Travis, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Weston Sullivan, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, summa cum laude. Gary Douglas, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, summa cum laude. Bobby Hoskins, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, cum laude. John Duncombe, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Robert McKinley, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Casey Browning, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Isaac Colliver, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Rachel Kernut, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, cum laude. Brenna Monk, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Savannah Young, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Dalen Garcia, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Joshua Warrener, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, summa cum laude. Kristen Martin, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, summa cum laude. Tiana Miller, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Hannah Mavis, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Eric Reed, Criminal Justice, Psychology. Zachary Sherman, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Dustin Billfield, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Mary Kennedy, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Nathaniel Hickerson, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Gloria Howell, Bachelor of Science, Correctional and Juvenile Justice Studies, cum laude. Emily Caldwell, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Brittany Lewis, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, cum laude. Deanna Wigand, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Richard Burton, Bachelor of Science, Police Studies. Matthew Gadledge, Bachelor of Science, Police Studies. Joshua Kelly, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, magna cum laude. Victoria Jordan, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Derek Simpson, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, cum laude. Abdullah Al-Sharib, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Angela Hall, Associate of Arts, Police Studies. Jerica Nanik, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Nina Ann Reynolds Lyons, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Mitchell Maupin, Bachelor of Science, Police Studies, summa cum laude. Derek Alex Hamilton, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Stephen Shepard, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Caleb Hall, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, cum laude. Jarrett Fields, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Gemma Bentley, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, magna cum laude. Jennifer Baker, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Hunter Hayes Price, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, magna cum laude. Tiffany Little, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, cum laude. Nancy Wells, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, cum laude. Carrie Van Hoos, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Sarah Middleton, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Brittany Hernandez, Bachelor of Science, Correctional and Juvenile Justice Studies. Jamie Adams, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Caleb Tide, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, cum laude. Gary Kilburn, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Ryan Cameron, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Brandon Pitts, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Keandra Eubanks, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Shelby Jones, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Lizeth Hernandez, Bachelor of Science, Police Studies, magna cum laude. Samantha Schisler, Bachelor of Science, Honors, cum laude. Montana Palmer, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, Honors Scholar. Diamond Richards, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Alexis Hall, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice, magna cum laude. Von Teese Christopher, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Jaysuma Webb, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Daniel Hatfield, Bachelor of Science, General Studies in Justice and Safety. Alexander Ferry, Associates of Science, Police Study. Austin Garner, Associates of Science, Police Studies. Dylan Tucker, Associates of Science, Police Studies. School of Safety, Security, and Emergency Management. Master of Science, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts. Justin Addison, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Rafat Ali, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Trevor Sams, Master of Science, Safety, Security, and Emergency Management. Mark Sheridan, Master of Science, Safety, Security, and Emergency Management. Rebecca Chavez, Master of Science, Safety, Security, and Emergency Management. Adam Ratliff, Safety, Security, and Emergency Management. Jamie Arnold, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Madison Schneid, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Basim Saeed Al-Maki, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Sierra Tamez, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Aaron Walker, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Trenton Thompson, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Hillary Wilson Yu, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Owen Mercer, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Joshua Wilson, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Aaron Offit, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Hans Mentzer, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Robert Homer, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Elisha Shepard, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Mickey Chastain, Master of Science, Safety, Security, Emergency Management. Lucas Carroll, Bachelor of Science, Fire Protection Administration, magna cum laude. Timothy Roby, Bachelor of Science, Fire Protection Administration, magna cum laude. Tucker Mondable, Bachelor of Science, Fire Protection Administration, magna cum laude. Hussein Wahid, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Ali Ohaid, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Bryce Ansbro, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security, summa cum laude. Paul Idle, Bachelor of Science, Fire Safety, Engineering Technology. Robert Odom, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Jacob Wise, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety, cum laude. Anastasia Spangler, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Kelby Farrell, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety, cum laude. Glenn Whittenmore, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Robert Krausen, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Corey Mullins, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Matthew Lucas, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Caleb Madison, Bachelor of Science, Fire Protection Administration. Dale Jenkins, Bachelor of Science, Fire Protection and Safety Engineering Technology. Fernando Ruiz, Bachelor of Science, Fire Protection Administration. Martha McKean, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety, cum laude. Walter Towers, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Shannon Ramey, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety, magna cum laude. Michael Casanova, Bachelor of Science, Fire Protection and Safety Engineering Technology. Christopher Lau, Bachelor of Science, Fire Arson. Stephen Southworth, Bachelor of Science, Fire and Arson and Investigation, magna cum laude. Courtney Edwards, Bachelor of Science, Emergency Medical Care. Devin Doty, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security. Chelsea Forwood, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security, Criminal Justice. Charles Dobb, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security, cum laude. Bailey Cox, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security. Ann Hetty, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security, cum laude. Derek Leverens, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security, summa cum laude. Matthew Thomas, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security. Kenneth Worthington, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security, magna cum laude. Garrett Duty, Bachelor of Science, Homeland Security. Rashid Khalid Al-Nuaimi, Homeland Security. Michael Riga, Associate of Science, Paramedicine. Rakan Al-Sunaid, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Ali Al-Motif, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Mana Al-Harbi, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. Muhammad Al-Zarani, Bachelor of Science, Emergency Medical Care, summa cum laude. Wahab Al-Abadi, Bachelor of Science, Occupational Safety. General Studies, Bachelor of Arts. Nicole Lee Mullaney, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Jennifer Botan Bice, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Katie Marie Numbers, General Studies. Derek Zeleny, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Michael Banks, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Anthony Morgan Wilhoit III, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. William Jacob Purdom, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Andrea Nicole Turner, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Macy Alexa Noel Klontz, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Cameron Elizabeth Michelle, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Corey Alexandra Warren, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Sarah Lynn Schaefer, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Denise Preston Young, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies. Patricia Ryan Clark, Bachelor of Arts, General Studies, magna cum laude. Associate of General Studies. Tiffany Nicole Skeens, Associate of Arts, General Studies. Samuel Burton Salih, Associate of Arts, General Studies. Glenn Ray Johnson, Associate of Arts, General Studies. Rebecca Skinner Gent, Associate of Arts, General Studies. Yeah, hang on just a second. We're doing our change up. Department of Anthropology, Sociology, and Social Work, Bachelor of Arts. Michaela Nicole Brungs, Bachelor of Arts, Anthropology, Sociology. William Lonnie Ray Madden, Bachelor of Arts, Anthropology. Alexandria Jordan Wimsat, Bachelor of Arts, Sociology. Maria L. Weaver, Bachelor of Arts, Sociology. Stephen Lawrence Joyce, Bachelor of Arts, Sociology. Bachelor of Social Work. Georgia Lou Murrell, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Shawnese Darlene Barnes, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Sarah Jean Smith, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work, magna cum laude. Angela Browning Gray, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Kristen N. Romans, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Chelsea Marie Young, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Skylar Donnell Hash, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work, magna cum laude. Tatiana Gabrielle Lauterbach, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Taylor Lynn Harrison, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Kylie Arden Hauk, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Monica B. Sewell, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Gwendolyn Gail Campbell, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work, magna cum laude. Jordan Michelle Gail McCoy, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Emily Jo Cassidy, Bachelor of Social Work, cum laude. Shelby Lynn Acey, Bachelor of Social Work, cum laude. Lydia Elizabeth Gilbert, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Samantha Leanne Couch, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Haley Susanna Hoskins, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Shelby Cheyenne Gardner, Bachelor of Social Work, cum laude. Hannah Sayre Dees, Bachelor of Social Work in Social Work. Warren Dwight Reed, Bachelor of Social Work. Louise T. Luna, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Kathy Marie Davis, Bachelor of Social Work, Social Work. Michael Bradley Chase Vickery, Bachelor of Social Work. Department of Communication, Bachelor of Arts. Autumn Brooke Woolhoyt, Bachelor of Arts, Public Relations. Megan Michelle Hardy, Bachelor of Arts, Public Relations. Jared Emmanuel Barnard, Bachelor of Arts, Public Relations. Mary Allison Tate, Bachelor of Arts, Public Relations. Ramonica Deshay Gar, Bachelor of Arts, Public Relations, cum laude. Brianna Ellen Dethridge, Bachelor of Arts, Communication Studies. Mark Donald White, Bachelor of Arts, Journalism. Candace Simone Garcia, Bachelor of Arts, Public Relations. Hannah Marie Davis, Bachelor of Arts, Public Relations. Christopher Tyler Stamper, Bachelor of Arts, Public Relations. Austin Bradley McClanahan, Bachelor of Arts, Public Relations, magna cum laude. Ashlyn Taylor Jackson, Bachelor of Arts, Communication Studies. Carrick Plummer, Bachelor of Arts, Communication Studies. Matthew Luis Shirella, Bachelor of Arts, Communication Studies. Mackenzie Ray Engel, Bachelor of Arts, Communication Studies. Shaylee Michelle Haggard, Bachelor of Arts, Communication Studies. Latrell Deshawn Floyd, Bachelor of Arts, Communication Studies. Julia Christine Dake, Bachelor of Arts, Journalism. Corey Stephen Wall, Bachelor of Arts, Journalism. Emily Jane Vinson, Bachelor of Arts, Journalism, Honors Scholar, summa cum laude. Crystal Mariah Davies, Bachelor of Arts, Broadcasting and Electronic Media. Eleanor Maddie Sears, Bachelor of Arts, Broadcasting and Electronic Media. Brian D. Burkhart, Bachelor of Arts, Broadcasting and Electronic Media. Tommy Kenneth Hayes III, Bachelor of Arts, Broadcasting and Electronic Media. Aaron King Leach, Bachelor of Arts, Communication Studies. Dominic Charles Palazzo, Bachelor of Arts, Broadcasting and Electronic Media. Trevor Allen Morgan, Bachelor of Arts, Broadcasting and Electronic Media. Department of English and Theater, Master of Arts. Brittany Lauren Raymond, Master of Arts, English. Bachelor of Arts. Joseph Henry McKenna, Bachelor of Arts, English. Stuart Raymond Droyovi. James Franklin McClure III, Bachelor of Arts, English, magna cum laude. Cassandra Rose Gray, Bachelor of Arts, English, cum laude. Lacey Danielle Gillum, Bachelor of Arts, English. Glenda Eva Brown, Bachelor of Arts, English. Adrienne Cherie Hamilton, Bachelor of Arts, English. Shannon Elizabeth Anderson, Bachelor of Arts, English. Emma Laney Sneed, Bachelor of Arts, English. Caitlin L. McFerrin, Bachelor of Arts, English, magna cum laude. Stephanie Louise McNew, Bachelor of Arts, English. Judsina Yasmin White, Bachelor of Arts, English, summa cum laude. Sydney Brooke Marks, Bachelor of Arts, English teaching, cum laude. Casey Marie Frills, Bachelor of Arts, English teaching, magna cum laude. Ashley Marie House, Bachelor of Arts, English teaching. Catherine Michelle Regis, Bachelor of Arts, English teaching, Honors Scholar, summa cum laude. Jennifer Ann Parks, Master of Fine Arts, Creative Writing. Department of Government and Economics, Master of Public Administration, Christina Ann Cummings, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Monica Gail Spriggs, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Caitlin Elizabeth Koger, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Rachel Jane Benedict, Master of Public Administration, Public Administration. Andrew Jared Keith, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Rita Wise Land, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Samuel Jacob Moore, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Deshae Marie Nicole Jones, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Zachary Ray Boggs, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Rachel Michelle Helm, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Jacob Elijah Patton, Master of Public Administration, Public Administration. Elizabeth Joyce Sizemore, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Tanya L. Bradshaw, Master of Public Administration and Public Administration. Bachelor of Arts, Jared Connor Nicely, Bachelor of Arts, Political Science, Honors Scholar, summa cum laude. Reagan Marie Freeman, Bachelor of Arts, Political Science, magna cum laude. Kaylee Francis Collins, Bachelor of Arts, Political Science. Amber McQueen, Bachelor of Arts, Paralegal Science, magna cum laude. Sarah Nicole Ann Minton, Bachelor of Arts, Paralegal Science. Emily Jade Neff, Bachelor of Arts, Paralegal Science. Yash N. Gupte, Bachelor of Arts, Political Science, cum laude. Michael Everett Kralman, Bachelor of Arts, Economics. Department of History, Bachelor of Arts. James Sasko, Bachelor of Arts, History, Honors Scholar, cum laude. Terry Lynn Connor, Bachelor of Arts, History, cum laude. Jacob Emmanuel Gibson, Bachelor of Arts, History. Christopher Thomas Fletcher, Bachelor of Arts, History Teaching. Matthew Scott Walkenhorst, Bachelor of Arts, History. What's that? Department of Languages, Cultures, and Humanities, Bachelor of Arts. Gustavo Alcantara, Bachelor of Arts, Spanish, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Coranda Brooke Gentry, Bachelor of Arts, Spanish. Zari Amara Earl, Bachelor of Arts, Spanish, cum laude. Jacqueline Newby, Bachelor of Arts, Spanish. Evan Philip Singleton, Bachelor of Arts, Spanish, Honors Scholar, summa cum laude. Carolyn Jane Hicks, Bachelor of Arts, French, summa cum laude. Jessica Elaine Griffith, Bachelor of Arts, Comparative Humanities. School of Music, Master of Music. Wesley Levi A. Dalton, Master of Music, Music. Department of Philosophy and Religion, Bachelor of Arts. Joshua James Harper Bell, Bachelor of Arts, Philosophy. Department of Psychology, Master of Science. Jade Alicia Parson, Master of Science, Psychology. Destiny Marie Johnson, Master of Science, Psychology. Carly Renee Hornbeck, Master of Science, Psychology. Emma Taylor Harris, Master of Science, Psychology. Mackenzie Carol Davidson, Master of Science, Psychology. Jordan Alexander Dorman, Master of Science, Psychology. Aaron Mitchell Wilkerson, Master of Science, Psychology. Bachelor of Science, Susan Hoover, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, magna cum laude. Victoria Lee Nichols, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Megan Lee Bevins, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, Honor Scholar. Grant Samuel Godby, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, summa cum laude. Tiffany Ray Peel, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, Honor Scholar, magna cum laude. Olivia Morgan Rohde, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, cum laude. Jade Whitney McClure, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Renee Johnson, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Regina Bell Adams, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Madison Lee Scott, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Chanel Leanne Duncan, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Monica Lynn McWhorter, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Cheyenne Victoria Hurley, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Amanda Lynn Smith, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Faith Kirsten Van Hoos, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Michelle Marie Hickerson, Bachelor of Science, Animal Studies. Andrea Krista Rowe, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, Animal Studies. Caitlin Ann Hume, Bachelor of Science, Animal Studies, cum laude. Ben Joseph Isofano, Bachelor of Science, Animal Studies. Cassidy Nicole Lawrence, Bachelor of Science, Animal Studies. Chelsea Amber Woods, Bachelor of Science, Animal Studies. Jessica Lisa Parson, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Jacob Wilson Kleins, Bachelor of Science, Animal Studies. Monica Nicole Thompson, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Amber Lachey McCoy, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Tatiana Goss, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Kurtia Siobhan Allen, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Emily B. Spalding, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, summa cum laude. Caitlin Danielle Bolin, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Rebecca Barron, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, cum laude. Samantha Jo Logan, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Marina Ray Bryant, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. George William Tushadan, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Zachary Alexander Knight, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Jordan Elise Roberts, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Sarah Brianne Bennett, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Misty Shea Keene, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Paige Michelle Worthington, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Kevin Kunch Greer, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Julia Emily Bellender, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Jason William Tate, Bachelor of Science, Psychology, summa cum laude. Casey Joe Waddell, Bachelor of Science, Psychology.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for Professor John Strada from the Department of Communication. Well done, sir. Thank you very much. Graduates, the moment for which you have worked so long and so hard is now at hand. If you have not already done so, please move your tassels from the right to the left. Alumni are so very important to the life of the university, and we are blessed at Eastern to have the loyal support of more than 135,000 living alumni. Here to represent the International Alumni Association is President of the Alumni Board, Amy Jo Gable, who will now offer greetings to our newest alumni. Amy.
Graduates, it is my honor to stand here today on behalf of all EKU alumni to say congratulations to each of you on your graduation and your new status as a forever colonel. What an amazing day on your life's journey. I know you will hear this a lot today, but let me join in and also say that your alumni peers are so very proud of you. I hope that you will take the time to not only celebrate what this day means to you and your families, but to also reflect on everything it took to get you here and everyone that was there to help along the way. The incredible magic that makes up Eastern Kentucky University is dedicated faculty and staff, dynamic students, and supportive alumni. With your graduation, your role at Eastern may change, but your importance to her never will. Embrace the responsibility. Do all you can to be alumni that we are proud to claim and that students who come after you look up to and wish to emulate. As you leave this place today, never forget that you always have a home here, and we hope you visit often. Congratulations again, and enjoy your moment of celebration.
Thank you very much, Amy Jo. And again, congratulations, graduates, and our newest alumni. As your alumni president just said, we want you to stay connected to your alma mater, and we hope you'll follow EKU Twitter channel at EKU Stories. Please take a moment now or later to tweet about the people, the places, and the programs that were meaningful to you during your time at the university. Tell us about the good times that you've had, the memorable classes, the friends, the professors, and the events that marked your time as an EKU colonel. For the families and friends in the audience, please follow EKU Stories and tell us about your own Eastern experience, or pass along congratulations to today's honorees. Graduates, I certainly extend to each of you my congratulations and those of my colleagues. You depart this university with our best wishes and most sincere regard. You leave EKU a better place because of your service and achievements. I sincerely hope a bond has been formed between you and this institution. Your diploma is more than just a piece of paper. It is your ticket into the world of educated persons, an invitation to join for life the Eastern Kentucky University family. From this time forward, the name, the traditions, the influence of this university are freely yours, just as your achievements, your successes, indeed, the tenor of your life will reflect forever on Eastern Kentucky University. To the class of 2017, you represent an incredibly small portion of the world's population as college graduates. What this diploma does not mean is this, that you are inherently better than anyone else. What it does mean is that you have been granted an amazing opportunity to acquire knowledge and experience. What you do with this knowledge in your education is the ultimate barometer and will be the standard by which your life is judged. And finally, as you consider your academic accomplishment today, reflect on the words of the inimitable Mark Twain. He once wrote this: "When I was a boy of 14 years old, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years." So at the conclusion of today's ceremony, I would like each of you to find your mom or dad or another family member or friend, give them a hug of appreciation, and let them know how pleased you are with all they've learned while you've been away at Eastern Kentucky University. Now, for one last time, let us recognize with a hearty round of applause the newest graduate of Eastern Kentucky University, the class of 2017. Before we conclude, let me first thank those who have helped plan and execute today's ceremony. Let me add parenthetically, this is the first of 3 ceremonies, and Professor Mulholland and Professor Waters are conducting groups of student musicians, all of whom are here voluntarily. They'll be here for all 3 ceremonies, so I want all of our student musicians to stand, if they would please, and be recognized. So thank you very much to our university singers and to our EKU orchestra, again under the baton, respectively, of Professor Jeremy Mulholland and Dr. Richard Waters. Thank you to Conferencing and Events, to the Registrar's Office for their coordination, and to the many faculty and staff working here on the floor and behind the scenes. And again, thank you to the ever-articulate John Strada. Thank you all very much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you, President Benson. Graduates, your faculty would like to say goodbye one more time immediately after we conclude. For those graduating from the College of Letters, Arts, and Social Science, photo backdrops are available for you to take a picture or two and see your college faculty members again while enjoying some music. The photo backdrops are located where you lined up this morning to begin this ceremony in the Fred Darling Auxiliary Gymnasium. To our guests, this area can be reached from the building concourse on either side. Dean Ziegler and her faculty look forward to seeing you there. Dean Kapler and the faculty of the College of Justice and Safety will meet their graduates in the Stratton Building Cafe for a reception immediately following this ceremony. Now, the university singers, under the direction of Dr. Richard Waters, will perform Irish Blessing. This concludes today's ceremony. As the recessional begins, please stand and remain standing until the platform party has left the arena floor. And as we go our separate ways, we wish you safe travels.
Roll cars!